Только подожди, у меня тут этот звук. Sound check. Can you hear me? Uh, Sound check. Can you hear me? Just a moment. Sorry, I have some. Yeah. Okay, is it? Can you hear me good enough? Just to be sure that I don't need to fix mic or some way. Okay, good. Give me just a moment. I want to place all comments on the screen. Be sure that I see you. Fine. There's a small delay, of course, just to let you know. In general, I have a presentation on my right screen, so I often will be looking at the right side. Uh, Trembling. Maybe now it should be better because it was because I just forgot to turn off the sound on my translate on my streaming. Uh, so in general, I'll be looking at this side because I have here the screen as a presentation. But yeah, never mind. Just if you have some questions, you can ask it right during the stream. Today, I want to talk about the deadlines that we will have during this presentation and about different tasks that we have. It's not about maybe something specific, but it's mostly about the pipeline of the process. So let's start. First of all, we will share with you special Google Calendar where you can see all deadlines. Let's go to all things that we have here. First of all, let me mention that we moved the beginning of the working on the project to the 8th of June. But if you would like to work on the project right from the tomorrow, you just need to write me or Lera personal message about that, and it should be conducted with your teammates, of course. In general, the whole internship is not about to make it's not about to work from some specific date to some specific date. It's just about to finish your project. uh, First of all, few things that we prepared for 1st, 3rd, and for 5th of June. It's hyper casual indicator challenge. uh, just to let you know, indicator is a special space that was based in the St. Petersburg. Indicator is also online platform for game developers, especially for indie game developers. And right now they have a special challenge about hyper casual games. I can send you a link on the contact group if you are interested in participation in this challenge and you are English speaker and don't know Russian, so you should work with some of your Russian teammates or to ask some Russian people about help. But what's this about? It's actually indicator challenge for hyper casual games. It's about to prepare you for hyper casual game development. uh, Once at 2 days they have a special task. It's really short. For example, one of them is what do you like to do usually in your life, and you need to write 3 things about it, and this is kind of the idea for your hyper casual game. And as I said, once at 2 days they have the special task. You need to complete that. You should complete all of the task until 9th of the June. It's actually optional, but if you want to participate in that, it's just will give you some boost about your ideas. And they also have an opportunity to win a ticket for offline event White Nights. White Nights is a big game development conference. They have a different locations, but if it will be okay, the closest offline event will be held in St. Petersburg in June or in July, I guess. But if it's not, if it will be online anyway, your ticket just will be moved on the next offline event. So if you want to have, if you want to win a free ticket, you just need to complete all of the tasks, and then randomly you will be chosen for like I mean, the winner will be chosen randomly from the people who completed all of the tasks. So 9th of the June is the final deadline. I will submit a link right now on this challenge. Let me just find it. This is just an optional exercise that you can use. It's especially for game designer for casual games. But I just want to talk about it because it's kind of the thing that will be really useful. Just a moment. Yeah, they have for now they have 3 tasks, I guess. The last one was published yesterday. Yeah, they have 3 tasks. So in general, there will be 7 tasks. They're really short. It's really simple to do, and you can do it like in the last day. It's okay. uh, yeah, I found it. So after this post, you just need to find out on this page all of the posts related to this challenge. It's really easy to find. There are not so much posts. And let's move further. So the next step. We have some intro tutorials for you. For example, on the 3rd of the June, you can see that we have intro to hyper casual. It will be the same kind of the webinar streaming tutorial that where we'll just describe you all processes related especially for hyper casual games. If you do not make hyper casual games but make PC or VR, it also will be useful for you, but again, it's optional. But we will talk here about the game design side, from programming side, from art side, what is specific about hyper casual game development, and what will be the pipeline of the process. Because for PC games and hyper casual games, it could be a bit different in case of maybe deadlines and terms. The same streaming will be held for PC games. It will be held of the 1st of the June. Actually, this time is not relevant for now. We change it to 11 o'clock just to make it a bit early for you. But we will share you the most actual calendar later. Uh, the last intro tutorial that we will have, it's in Friday at 5th of the June. It's processes and brainstorming. Lera will tell you about how we use from Discord in this case, how we apply Agile in our development, and how we usually help brainstorming process during the game development field. And will be the last preparation for you before this actual work on the project. Starting from the 8th of the June, we will start at 11 o'clock brainstorm session where you will generate an idea for your game, and you will have on just 4 days for polishing your idea, for trying different prototyping for different ideas. But I will tell you about this a bit later. This is the point where you start working on your project, but this is just the pre-production part where you're just working on the idea. We also prepared for you special challenges. I guess we will trying to prepare some maybe prizes in this case. From 12th June to 4th of June, you will have an opportunity to participate in hackathons or kind of jams in this case. Indicator have a special jam which they call hyper casual jam, and so we would like to work in cooperation with them in this case. And by ourselves, we also prepare PC game jam. So depends on your project. You will start to work during these 2 days to generating some uh, prototype on specific theme. It's actually not maybe a part of your main project, but this is just an opportunity for you to generate new ideas and maybe try something new and to learn new skills. So first week, it's just a preparation. It's a pre-production stage. It's all about to get familiarized with the processes that we have. And starting from the 5th of the June, this is the actual work on the project from in case of production stage. And before the 9th of June, you will have the last opportunity to maybe somehow adapt or change the idea of your project. On this step, we will start a review and reflection processes where we discuss how your idea is going to work, and depends on your role in the team. You will have a different tasks for first iteration deadline. Then the last stage, of course, is to work on the project starting from 22 of June until the 8th of the June. If you want to start from the work from 1st of the June, it's totally fine. So you can it's just all deadlines will be shifted, except maybe related to the gems will be shifted, and weeks. I mean, at 1 week left side in the calendar, like 1 week early. Sorry. So again, one more about tutorial. 3rd June, it's the date could change, but we think to conduct it on this time. It will be in the next week, from 1st to 5th of June, totally sure. So This is the main deadlines again according to the tutorials. You don't need to do anything actually. You just need to look at their streams that you will have. Yeah, you will work on the gems like teams, not as solo developers, because no, it's also opportunity for you to have to familiarize with your teammates and maybe to establish a better connection in case of development. Because when you work on the uh, when you don't have enough time to develop a good project, it's a really good opportunity for you to learn something new. Next, brainstorming processes. Again, I just forgot to change the time to 11. I guess we start at 11. The whole team should be presented in this case because this is the start of the project. It's really important because depends on your participation in the brainstorming process, idea could change. We will do it in the same time with all teams, and we will do that in Discord channels. We will provide you Friday later provide you the algorithm how it should work. We will tell you this algorithm again at Monday at 8th of the June, and we will control you during this process. It's pretty simple. You can control it by yourself, but we will help you with this process. The general idea is to generate ideas, prioritize them, and select few of them. Few because maybe one of the idea could be look great, but when you trying, but when you will test it and when you will try to prototype it, it could happen that it doesn't work. It's the usual case, not only for hyper casual but also for PC games. Then you have to during the whole day at 8th of the June. It really up to you how you will do that. In case of time, you have to do your kind of homework. Uh, and the final submission for brainstorming processes, it's until 7 o'clock. It doesn't mean that you have to work until 7 o'clock, it's just the last deadline. So what is the homework in this case? You should provide a vision document for your idea. Vision document in this case, it's just a moment, I fix micro, maybe now it's better, it should be louder. Vision doc, we will describe again as during this tutorial that I described before. You will know how to do your vision document for development. Um, yeah, there is a question. Will the first June starting teams have another brainstorm session for them? Yes, of course you do. At the Monday of the 1st of the June, we will start with you individually the process of brainstorming. It's totally okay because we know that there are not so much teams who want to start to work from tomorrow, so we can manage it. The process is the same, just the deadline will be shifted. The second thing that you need to do during your homework is visuals and references to other projects in case of visual. This is most of the work that artists do on this stage. Maybe it's also some drafts of your artist, how the game should look like, and game designers also should work with that, of course. Technical pipeline, it's all about how you're going to make your projects. It's about looking for already done realization, maybe to understanding if you, for example, have a feature of grappling hook, how you're going to implement that, or do you have an idea how to implement it. The second thing is realization plan. You should write all deadlines. How do you think when you finish this part of the project, when another one, when you will have all art for your project, or not all, maybe the part of the art of the some specific date. It will help you to understand and to manage what is your how your progress will go. Of course, and this when you submit this, we will review that and help you to figure it out how to make it better. The next thing, you have to build infrastructure on Google Drive. By infrastructure, I mean to place folders to understand what is your folder hierarchy. Again, at 5th of June, Lera will tell you about how to make it in a good way. And the last thing for programmers is make repo on GitHub. You can use maybe some other of them, but we recommended to use something one. In this case, maybe it's better to GitHub because it's available for everyone. And you should add to your account me and Vlad Kantaev, who will be responsible for the programmers, and he will help you to review your code maybe and to help you with some bugs that you will have. The next thing. A bit more about deadlines according to the roles. Game designers should write documentation, they should manage a team, and they manage a project in general. And they also work a bit on visual. They have to understand what other artists can do, what they cannot do, and depends on that to choose a visual style of the game. At least at the draft. Of course, we're not talking about final decision. It could change really because different problems you could happen later during development, but at least the idea how you see that. Programmers repo on GitHub, technical assets, pipeline, maybe some testing, prototype testing, because some of the mechanics is really simple to do during 1 hour maybe. So you will have a whole day just to figure it out how you will do that. About art, it's visual references and again pipeline in general. By pipeline, I mean what soft are you using to do? Will it be 3D or 2D game? Uh, will you have a problem with importing PSD files to Unity, or you are going to work with Adobe Illustrator? It's really depends on your artist. It's really depends on visual art style. It's really depends on the programmer skills. So this is the part where your team should figure it out. About the sound designers, it's really different. There is a sound designers that's related to specific projects, and there are sound designers that are free. So free sound designers will be work depends on the tasks. So if you don't have a sound designer in your team, imagine that you have a sound design on outsource. So game designers in this case should find out some references, or we attach to your team some sound designers that will help you to find references and to understand what is the sound design of your game. And all sound designers are managed by Matvey, and Matvey will help you to establish the process of development sound in your game. And each of this role will have a personal task. For example, for game designers in hyper casual games, you will have to find 20 different games from Play Market or App Store, doesn't matter, from the top charts, uh, to say that it's hyper casual. Choose 5 of them and describe the core mechanic of this game. Uh, just for 5 of them. So in general, each game designer, at least each team, should prepare from game design side the list of the top 20 hyper casual games from market, and 5 of them should be described in case of core gameplay. But I will tell you about this later during this hyper casual and PC indie games tutorials. And actually, the same, you will also have personal tasks, individual tasks for programmers and artists and sound designers. But for now, I just not describe it in details because they task a bit more complex, and it's not possible to make during this brainstorming day. It will require some more work, maybe a few days, few development days of your project. First week. So starting from 1st June to 11th of June, they actually not restricted to work on the to work at Saturday and Sunday, but it depends on you again. So at this week, your main idea is to research, prototype, review it, and do it again. So do as much prototypes, visual, game design, and programming prototypes. By prototypes, it doesn't mean only some games that you really physical have, but try to figure it out what do you want to do and what you actually can't do. Because the main problem that you do not understand at the beginning what you really can't do, but not what do you want to do. For Of course, because we have about 10 teams, we have to manage it somehow, and for agile processes, it's required to have some daily calls. Uh, Additional information about that will be provided during this processes tutorial. And if to be short, the team should book 30-minute time slot for daily call when everyone is available. And this 30-minute time slot will be used like 15 minutes for the daily. It's the usual timeline for the people of 5, and 15 minutes consultation. Maybe for the first and for the second day, me and Lera always will be on your daily calls. But after that, your main mentors that attached to you to Google Sheets table. In this case, for example, it could be Evgeny or Alexander. Uh, they will be participating in your daily calls and will help you to manage the process inside your team. If you have a problem, so you don't understand something or your mentor can answer your question, so in this case you can ask us to participate in your daily call. The next thing, yeah, what we will how can we help you? We prepared special docs with links and best practices for us in general in industry, how to do, what to do, and what you should to do. Uh, this links is attached depends on the role. We have a list of the links for programmers, some maybe YouTube channels, tutorials, assets, and other stuff, different documentation. Because when you starting to work on this kind of the project, you don't know where to search that, and we have done that for you. So, as a help, for example, if you have some specific bugs that you cannot catch and do not understand how it works, you just have a general question in how the specific things work in Unity. We prepared for you special chats in Discord channels. For example, we have a special chat for programmers. When you can ask where you can ask questions in any time. You can also, for example, to call me or Vlad if it's really something that is required to help from other side. And again, maybe some other teams know the answer on your problem. And here is the point that you can just write it and to receive an answer on your problem. The same is for artists and the same for the game designers. So this is the channels where you can discuss it. Yeah, about the Discord, yeah, you can get the link. Today Lera is a bit busy, so she will do it maybe a bit later or maybe tomorrow because it requires additional work. We need to place you to give you roles according to the teams, but we will do it in 2 days. Tomorrow you will have a link to the Discord channel because we have some private channels and the public channels, so depends on that we will add you. Uh, and again, every week we have a special sessions which is called review. Again, it's a part of the agile processes. Usually review and planning take about 2 hours. It's really long and we will try to figure it out how to make it better and shortly because most of most of the work will be done by your mentors in this case. So I can do it in the same time. Usually we do it on Friday. And the special thing that we actually really want to see from you, it's acquire skills list. What do I mean? What do I mean by that? For example, you have never worked with animator in Unity, and during this week you have an experience. You had an experience to work with animator, and we would like to hear that. So at the end of the week, we just want to hear from you everything that you learned, everything that you have never done before, and you learn something new in this case. In my case, for example, 2 weeks ago, I first tried to make some animations in Unity by myself, and this is a acquired skill that I get. If there is nothing that you can say at the end of the week that you learned something new, it means that internship does not educate you. But we want to achieve the point where every week you learn something new and give you really new skills in this case. So we would really like to just see maybe a few points. I learned this, I learned that, and something else. Again, one more time, you have a mentor that attached to a team, and all the mentors have some experience, and so you can ask them questions that you do not answer, the answers that you do not know. Of course, some of the mentors, for example, Evgeny and Alexander, they are game designers, and maybe they don't have a lot of experience in Unity, but at least they know how to manage your teammates to solve the problem or ask us, for example. So if you have programming related problems, you can ask me and Vlad. If you have game design problems, you can ask me, Alexander, and Evgeny. If you have some art related problems, you can ask Lera, and Lera also can ask our other employee, Lana. uh, mhm. Yeah, okay. About there is a question about what do you have to submit in university. Uh, don't worry about this now. I'm sure that university still doesn't have this paper that you should submit. Usually you do that until of 20th of August, so you have a lot of time to fill that, and they will give you special form. It's really easy to complete. You just need to write what you learned and what did you do, and something like that. So you will have all information about how to fill that, and don't worry about this. And from other side, we also have to provide feedback for each one of you. So we will do this process together. Don't afraid that, because it's also important for us. Uh, and the last thing that I want to say, when you attach us to the GitHub repositories, we have an opportunity to make a code review sometimes. Of course, it's hard to make the whole process of code review. And again, if you have questions related to the realization, maybe we did it before, we can suggest you some solution in this case. And other stuff, according to the code review, programmers will have special tasks to make kind of logic diagram of your models in your project. Uh, this diagram helps to understand the architecture of your project, and me and Vlad could help you with understanding what's wrong with your architecture in this case and why your development is so long. About game jams, it's pretty simple. PC game jam will be held on random theme. Indicator game jam will be held on hyper casual game jam. You will have 48 hours to complete the project on different team. You can work on the same project, of course, but we can discuss that. It's better to work on something new, just to understand how much did you learn for 5 days. Second week, you will have a deadline, as I said. It should be polished prototype. By polished, I don't mean that. It means that there should be something that shows the potential of your game. On the right side of the screen, you can hear, for example, you can see here an example of hyper casual first submission. Related to your role, you have to submit different artifacts related to the project. If you did that, so in this case, if you complete the whole list, so your development process is in pretty good stage. One more comment about team lead. Team lead is someone from your team who is mostly related to the process of management. Who it will be, we will discuss it together with you. Usually, the game designers do that because they understand mostly what teams should do, and the game designer is the person who usually becomes a producer of the project, and he can, of course, be a team leader of the team. So, again, in this stage, you totally should have a clear view of the project, and this is maybe the last chance to change your idea, because during these 2 weeks, you can learn something new and understand what is wrong with your idea, your project, maybe some technical problems or art problems, or maybe even game design problems. And shortly about final submission. So the next 2 weeks is just about development. It's just all about continuous communication with us. We will discuss with you how can we help you. So for PC game, final submission will be core mechanics, art production plan. It means that not art should be completed, but there should be a plan how it should be how it could be done. It's called documentation because game designers are the people who work at the beginning and just make some edits at the end of the project. So the whole documentation related to game design should be completed. There should be one, two, or three implemented levels. Again, depends on you. But this just the idea is it's better not to make one level, but few of them to show again the potential of the project, how it will be developed. And if you want to learn something about marketing of PC games, you have to understand how to release your game in the way to earn money on that. So what is a possible opportunities in this case? Where should I write some review or write on some different sites related to, or journals, maybe papers related to the game development fields that will help you to have a money for your project, or maybe even Kickstarter, who knows? And for hyper casual games, it's a soft launch release prototype. By prototype, I mean something that could be testable. So imagine that right now you will have 1,000 downloads, and you will need to understand is it possible to earn money with your game again? For that, you also need integrated SDK, analytics SDK, and maybe ads SDKs to show you ads and to earn money on that. And for final submission, the game will be published, will be submitted to publisher. We have a good relationships with Azure game publisher, and most probably it will be this publisher, but it depends again. Usually they easily to take our prototypes for testing, and this is an opportunity for you to test your game in the real field. They launch a special campaign for the whole world, and especially for US, where you will see key metrics like CPI, its cost per install, and retention rate, how much users return to a game. Uh, yeah, about revenue, if you will have some revenue, you will totally get all revenue to you. So it's not a question about that we have some money. If your game is really cool, you will have to polish the future. For hyper casual game, why it's called soft launch release prototype, because it's not totally completed game. Usually it's just 6 or 12 levels of your game, but here should be like 100 of them. Of course it depends on game, but in general, if you see, if the publisher will see that your project is cool, it have a good retention rate, it has a good CPI. In this case, of course, you will just need to polish your project and to make a global launch for your game. At this point, you will start to earn money. Of course, we are not thinking about to take money from you or something like that. There's a question about if you need the help of future development, we help with that. Next stage. Few comments. Just to point on this, there are more than 50 people and really hard to manage. So sometimes we missed some deadlines. I mean, in this case, for example, I needed additional 30 minutes for presentation. And For that, we really need feedback and help from you. If you have some problems, questions, you think that you stuck and you have some problems with the project, just ask and ask about help, because we can't know. When we work with just 5 people, it's really, for example, simple to understand their problems. We always communicate with them. But due to the reasons that we have a limited time, we should work in pull policy. So if you have problem, just say us. Make a request from us. We help with it. Uh, yeah, we do our best in case of help and documentation. So if you first of all try to see what we provide you as support documents in this case, like what are the processes, what are the useful links like assets and other stuff. And again, according to the questions, think about it like internship, because internship is not a work. Internship is a process of education, and that's why we need the questions from your side. What's wrong in this case? Uh, and most of the education processes, I mean, some comments, for example, if you do something wrong, I can provide it during the call. I can provide it in chat, but it's really hard for me to come to every team and ask them, do you have a problem? Do you have anything that I could help you? So it's better to work from your side. And of course, work with your mentors, because they have experience usually more than you, and they can help you with some simple problems. So from my side, it's done. Everything related to specifically to hyper casual and PC games will be published later. I share this presentation with you just to have all links and contacts right now. And if you have some questions, you can ask it right now related to the processes and related to the hyper casual and PC games. We will send you to later. So anything questions? Okay, I think I don't see any questions right now, or if you have, just to write something in chat, anything like maybe place a plus or point or something like that. If you need some time, for example, to write it. Fine. I hope there is no question because everything is clear. For the team who want to again, if you want to start working from tomorrow, I know only one team who want to work starting from tomorrow. You need to contact us, and we will provide the whole information that will be useful for you to start development process. If there are no questions, so I will finish the streaming. Thank you for your time. If you see it at the recording stage, ask your questions in chat, and I will answer on this. Thank you again. So see you later.